We all dream of becoming someone extraordinary. We scroll through success stories, watch motivational videos, fill our minds with inspiration. But here's the harsh truth. Most of us stay exactly where we are. Why? Because motivation is just a spark, and sparks die out. What you really need is something far more powerful, something that burns steadily even in the darkest moments. Stay with me until the end, and I'll show you what separates dreamers from achievers. Ethan lived in a small coastal town where everyone knew everyone. At 19, his mind buzzed with ambition. He'd lie awake at night, staring at the cracked ceiling of his bedroom, imagining a different life. Every Sunday evening, he'd watch motivational videos until his eyes hurt. He'd scribble plans in his notebook. Tomorrow, I'll study 6 hours. Tomorrow, I'll wake at 5 a.m. Tomorrow, everything changes. The words felt electric. His heart would race. He'd close the notebook with determination burning in his chest. But Monday morning, the alarm would scream. Ethan would hit snooze, roll over, and whisper just one more day of rest. By Wednesday, the notebook gathered dust. By Friday, he was back on YouTube, searching for new motivation, a better video, stronger words. The cycle repeated, again and again and again. Then there was Ben. Ben didn't talk much about his dreams. He didn't post inspiring quotes or share his goals. But something about him was different. While Ethan slept until noon, Ben's light was already on at dawn. While Ethan made excuses, Ben made progress. One afternoon, Ethan found Ben in the library, surrounded by textbooks. Same spot as yesterday, same spot as last week. "How do you do it?" Ethan blurted out, unable to contain his frustration. Ben looked up, adjusting his glasses. "Do what?" "Stay so motivated. Every single day you're here, working, improving. Don't you ever feel like quitting?" Ben set down his pen. A slight smile crossed his face. "Ethan, I'm going to tell you something that might sound strange." He leaned forward. "I'm not motivated at all." Ethan blinked. "What?" "I stopped relying on motivation years ago. I rely on discipline instead." "But isn't motivation what drives success?" Ben shook his head slowly. "Come with me tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., the riverside. I want to introduce you to someone." The next morning, darkness still clung to the sky. Ethan stumbled through the streets, half asleep, questioning why he'd agreed to this. At the river, a figure sat motionless, an old fisherman weathered by decades of sun and salt. His hands were rough, scarred, strong. His eyes held something Ethan couldn't quite name. Wisdom? Peace? Certainty? Ben approached him. "Grandpa, this is Ethan, the one I told you about." The fisherman nodded, studying Ethan with those ancient eyes. "Tell him," Ben said softly. "Tell him what you told me." The fisherman gestured to the river with his calloused hand. "You see this water, son? I've come here every morning for 43 years. Same spot, same time. 4:30 a.m. without fail." He paused, letting that sink in. "In winter, when ice forms on the edges and my fingers go numb. In summer, when the heat makes my head pound. When storms roll in and my wife begs me to stay home. When my back aches and every muscle screams for rest. I come anyway."
Ethan swallowed. "Because you love fishing?" The old man's laugh was dry, gentle. "Love?" He shook his head. "Son, some mornings I hate this river. I hate the cold. I hate the waiting." He cast his net with practiced precision.
His voice grew quieter, more intense. "I come because my family eats what I catch. I come because this is my responsibility. If I waited to feel motivated, I'd only fish on perfect days. And perfect days, they're rare. My children would starve." The net hit the water with a soft splash.
Motivation is a lightning strike. Brilliant, powerful, gone in seconds. But discipline? He touched his chest. Discipline is the fire that never goes out. The fisherman pointed to a cluster of bamboo swaying in the morning breeze. Ever heard the story of the Chinese bamboo tree? Ethan shook his head. A farmer planted bamboo seeds in his field. Every single day he watered them, gave them sunlight, protected them from weeds. His neighbors walked by, smirking. "Fool," they whispered. The fisherman's voice grew rhythmic, hypnotic. 1 year passed, nothing, not even a sprout. 2 years, still nothing. The neighbors laughed louder. 3 years, the farmer kept watering. His wife questioned him. His children doubted. 4 years, the ground remained bare, empty, mocking him. The old man's eyes sparkled. But then, the 5th year. He paused for dramatic effect. In just 6 weeks, that bamboo exploded through the soil and grew 90 feet tall. Ethan's jaw dropped. How? Because for 4 years, that tree was building roots. Deep, strong, invisible roots spreading beneath the earth. When the time came, it had the foundation to reach the sky. The fisherman turned to face Ethan directly. Discipline is building roots. You won't see them. Nobody will praise you. You'll feel like a fool watering empty ground. But one day, he snapped his fingers. Growth happens so fast, it'll take your breath away. Something cracked open inside Ethan's chest. All this time, he'd been chasing the lightning strike, waiting for the moment when motivation would strike so powerfully that change would be effortless. But motivation was never meant to sustain him. Discipline was the answer. Boring, unglamorous, relentless discipline. From that morning, Ethan stopped waiting for perfect conditions. He created a schedule, not an ambitious fantasy, but a realistic plan. 30 minutes of study before breakfast, no exceptions. Some mornings his mind was sharp. Some mornings every word felt like pulling teeth, but he showed up anyway. He added exercise, just 10 minutes, even when exhausted, especially when exhausted. He woke at 6 a.m., not because he wanted to, because he decided to. Days became weeks, weeks became months, months became years. The changes were invisible at first, like bamboo roots spreading underground. 5 years later, Ethan stood in the town square, invited to speak at the community center. The boy who once hit snooze every morning was now teaching others. After his talk, a young man approached him, eyes bright with hunger. "What's your secret? How do you stay so motivated?" He smiled, the same knowing smile Ben had given him years ago. "I'm not motivated. Most days I don't feel like doing the work, but I learned something important from an old fisherman." He placed a hand on the young man's shoulder. Motivation is the spark that gets you started. Discipline is the fire that keeps you going. Build your roots deep. Do the small things daily, and one day you'll grow faster than you ever imagined. He looked out at the river, where an old fisherman was probably casting his net. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Stay disciplined. Build your fire and never let it go out. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button. Drop a comment and tell me what's one small thing you'll commit to doing every single day, no matter what. See you in the next story. Now go build your roots.